With this kind of clothing, you immediately feel more fancy. Look at that, my plant. I mean, such a sweet, sweet darling, and it's the thing I have for the longest in my life. And this one is the only one that survives for like more than 10 years with me. I mean, at one point my dad had to save it because I almost let it die. But it's still there. It came back and it's always coming back to me. And we've been through stuff together. But look at it. It's just always standing in the way. Like, darling, not there, please. Come on. You go somewhere else. Really. Hello and welcome to my new channel where we take old clothes and make it fashion. If that sounds interesting, if you like DIY fashion videos and upcycling. Oh no, wait. I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe now. Apparently it's more effective to do that in the middle of the video. So let's just start with a new project. So I stumbled upon Alexander Mcqueen show, and although I don't think this brand is innovative anymore since Alexander Mcqueen passed away, they still make beautiful clothes from time to time. And they also hopped on this deconstructed blazer trend, or I don't know how you want to call it, blazer with a twist. You see a lot of blazers nowadays that have like a little cheeky cutout here and there, or like panels that are twisting. I think you see a lot of cute versions, and the Alexander Mcqueen version was also pretty cute, except for the price. It was like 1900 euros. Yeah, for a blazer with a cutout. So since I have like 190 subscribers and not like 1.9 million, I'm gonna recreate this jacket using a jacket that I already have. So what would you all need for today's project? Well, just showing you quickly that you need your sewing stuff, like a sewing machine and an ironing board. And yeah, we just have a good scissors at hand and just basically the normal sewing stuff. You might need some interfacing as well. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nice jacket, nice sewing machine, and a nice iron. And you might want to wear slippers because, you know, the last days that it's still possible. So yeah, I just put my mannequin on the table because that's how professionals do it. Oh, you didn't know? You can of course also just lie it flat and pin and then fit it on yourself, which I'm gonna do as well later. I do think it's better to first pin and then draw the lines because sometimes this chalk does not go off that well. So I'm just cutting out the exact same piece of lining in the exact same place, hopefully. I'm making some markings on the lining of where to cut it away as well. I'm using the piece that I cut away as a reference. What is this cute little thing? Oh, it's the inner pocket. Hello, inner pocket. We don't want to cut that away, I think. Or we do want to cut it away, otherwise it's gonna hang out. I swear, it was in.
Have you ever peed in a swimming pool?
Okay guys, so yeah, it's getting a little messy now. In my head I was skipping this tiny, not so tiny kind of important step, and I was already making the facing without even making any adjustments to the jacket. And because we want the back part to fit more like a skirt, I would first have to make it a little bit smaller and more body fitting. I forgot we have to take the back in first, and maybe I have to get something out of the shoulder as well, because you can see that they are standing off a little bit. So I pinned all along the seams that are already in there, 2 side seams, and on the back I pinned like a few centimeters away. And I also made some like dots in the shoulder. Why am I always thinking with these things like, that's gonna be easy? But I'll start just here on the outside to see where I start. And then you can see already the triangular shape that's gonna be sewn out later. So I'm using some pins to copy these shapes to the other side. So I'm trying to make sure the lining is not moving and the seams are on both sides aligned, and then pinning some needles through to copy the same stripes to the other sides, because we have to take the lining in as well. To me it seems kind of smart to do it like this now. So I get one pin out and then look at the next pin that's still in there and make a marking there. And I thought that plans were quite something, but Carlos is quite something as well. Black in there. I'm lucky for once in my life. You can start sewing straight away. So I just straightened the lines out with my ruler, like not the straight one but the bent one. It's literally pinning horizontally and sewing over the line. If you enjoyed this video so far, please consider subscribing, because I do upload cool videos every week. Fabric manipulation, everything upcycling. You name it and I'll do it. Well, if you have any good ideas also let me know in the comments, please. So I've been sewing the skirt part yesterday evening. My name is unfortunately not Mcqueen and I'm unfortunately also not a tailor. No, don't try to take shortcuts or anything like maybe I have done a little bit. It's just always coming back later. Oh, is my shirt off? So I'm gonna make some dots in the shoulder now so that they get also a little bit of this round shape and are not standing off that much anymore. So wish me luck. Oh, my hard drive is still in there. My attempt to repairing the ironing board, and I think it is standing again, guys. Took me an hour, but woohoo. So if you've never seen me doing a Sudoku, this is more or less what it looks like, guys. It's a struggle, and here struggling to basically make the pattern of the facing that I already made before I made the adjustments to the jacket, fitting for the new kind of cutout, basically. This is a little bit of improvisation. The most important is that you cut a piece of fabric that is 4 to 5 centimeters wide and that you can sew it in the cutout, and don't take any shortcut and cut a straight piece of fabric or something, because it will not fit. It needs to have exactly the same form as the cutout that you made. So I would suggest just doing it like me, with a piece of paper, pinning it around the cutout and then using that as a pattern to cut out the real fabric. Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. I'm gonna now reinforce my facing fabric and cutting the pattern out. Oh my god. Burnt away the facing. So I pinned the facing all the way along the edge and I stitched on 1 centimeter. It's going all the way to the front cutout, and in the bottom I'm gonna do another facing. So here I sewed in this really sharp corner, and I'm already gonna cut that in carefully, not too far, because otherwise I cannot iron the seams open. I've had more fun in my life with other things. I'm not gonna stitch on the fabric, but on the facing and on the seams on the inside. I'm gonna stitch really close to the original seam. Just have to make sure that my seam allowance is folded to the right side, so to the right in this case, so that I can also stitch over there. Facing is sewn in pretty nice, and the understitch is going like there, just really like 1 or 2 millimeters from the edge, and it keeps it more or less nicely in there. If your seams are round and they're still kind of trying to basically turn the facing back out and you did the understitch, you may also just cut them a little bit off, like no problem. And that will make it really fold in nicer as well. This sun, it's following me. I'm like moving my table around in my room. Okay, I'll close the curtains. Where I would normally like take the lining, fold it double and sew it back in with the hand, or just sew it in with the machine. But because this lining has all kinds of inside pockets in the front and pieces that are just very not suitable to sew in nicely because there's just a lot of layers, that's why I'm just keeping it flat and stick my facing on the lining. And I think that it's gonna look better if I just keep it really flat. So if you're not like a perfect sewer like I am, then I would really recommend to also take like a wool blazer, because wool can still, you know, be ironed really nice and still be shaped a little bit, especially if you take like a flannel jacket, for example. You don't see every seam that well, and you can really iron it nicely and make it look good. And don't throw with your phone if you just bought a new screen. I might be talking to myself. So voila, that's the end result. And it only cost me like €5, I think. So I think it's a pretty good dupe. I'm feeling really good in it. I'm feeling quite sexy, to be honest. I never had like this open back kind of situation. With this kind of clothing, you immediately feel more fancy. Going to a fancy